out tonight which of the players will outwit, outplay, and outlast the others. This is Survivor, SubRosa, Mallorca.
Congratulations, Amy.
Thank you.
All right. Amy, going off of that, has having immunity allowed you to be more flexible when voting? Are you able to play a little more freely, and are you open to trying to dictate the vote when you know it's not going to be you, especially this late in the game?
That was a lot, and sorry if my answers don't make sense. I'm very tired.
We all are.
I think we had like a solid plan coming into tonight, so like I don't feel like myself having immunity changes what we were thinking, because I mean I was cool with that plan, so I don't try to dictate votes, and I am hoping for the best tonight. And I forget the rest of your question. Sorry.
No, that's good. And
Okay.
You have won immunity 4 times now, so that is super impressive.
Thank you. Yeah. Trying not to be a target. That was for the team. It really was.
Who's part of your team, Amy?
I forget, Cody. I'm tired.
Okay, Ari. This late in the game, everyone is thinking about making it to final time. And if they say they aren't, my question is, why are you lying? No, but seriously, do you think you've been pretty transparent with your game? Or if Ari makes it to final tribal, are we going to see another layer?
I feel like I've been pretty out in the open with my game, but I feel like obviously there's so many different parts of everyone's game that isn't shown and isn't obvious to everyone. And I feel like final tribal is your time to really show those parts of your game and really just kind of convince the jury just kind of why they should vote for you.
Do you feel like you have a lot to show at final tribal if you were to make it?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I do okay.
All right. Josie, with the jury overseeing the last tribal council and getting the opportunity to answer questions that they came, yeah.
I think you skipped Sarah.
Yeah, you said you wanted to read that one, so I was just going to go to Josie.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
Okay. Josie, so with the jury overseeing the last tribal council and getting the opportunity to answer questions that they came up with, how did you assess the answers you gave them once you got back to camp? Is there anything you regret saying? Is there anything you regret not saying?
No, answers I gave, I felt were pretty honest with what the questions they asked me, because they asked me about like things because it's going to be a bitter jury. So they were asking me questions based off that, and I gave them my answer the best one I can. I made the move I thought was the best move at the time. I don't regret the move, but I understand it ticks people off. So I don't regret saying what I said because I stand by it. But I might not get the results I want at the end because of that.
So we're just going to leave this pretty open. Does anybody want to readdress something you feel like you left unsaid at the last tribal council? I know the jury wanted to really hear about your gameplay. Is there anything that you feel like you would like to share right now at Final Five?
Okay, then we'll go on to Sarah. At this point, the numbers are so small, and with Amy immune, that just leaves you, Ari, Mark, and Josie. So how do you make sure, with the numbers so small, that you live to see another day?
Well, I guess kind of like probably everybody today was just planning everything, looking for stuff, trying to see what could be used maybe today, talking to people. I mean, that's what my day looked like. Just, we have to make sure that we're going to be here tomorrow.
And on that note, it is Final Five, and, it is the last time to use coins, play advantages, play idols. Do you expect any of that to be going on tonight?
Of course, there will be a lot of that tonight.
All right, Mark, we got the big one for last. All right, I'm thinking back to the typical structure of a Greek theater. There's a rising action, a middle crisis, and then some sort of falling action followed by the inevitable tragic death of the hero. Was losing this challenge your inevitable climax? Was it the deciding factor in Mark's legacy in this game? Or are we still in the falling action phase, guaranteed to see one final push for victory?
You gave me a lot of...
Yeah, it was a lot. Get it.
I appreciate the attention. Yeah, it was definitely disappointing. Props to Amy, and she crushed it, and I don't think anyone was touching her score. So I give her a lot of credit for that. But as far as my fate tonight, I think it's going to all depend on the 4 people think I may have in my pockets right now. I admitted to them, I may or may not have an idol, and whether or not I came out straight and said I have an idol, or whether I came out straight and told them I don't, that's going to be for them to either believe or not believe. So did
he cut out for y'all?
Yes. For once, it's not my Wi-Fi.
All right, let me just message in the chat that he cut out so he can rejoin.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Mark, you cut out there.
I still hear you guys.
We can hear you now.
We can hear you now.
So yeah, what I was saying was, I don't know where I cut out, but what I was saying was that my only chance in this game was to just let the people know that are still in this game, the 4 people that clearly want me out of this game. My opinion was whether or not I told them I have an idol or that I don't have an idol. It was going to be up to them to decide whether or not I was being honest. And it's up to them if they're going to place votes off of me or on me tonight. This is not in my hands. And I hope to see tomorrow.
All right. It is time to vote. Go ahead and message in your host chat. Someone is about to become the 8th member of our jury. So now would be the time to do so.
I would love to play one, Cody. Ever since last vote, I felt a little bit anxious on that. I'm ready to play it.
Hey, Josie stands. Josie, this is not a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Josie will still count.
I would like to play an idol as well for myself.
Sarah, you want to take it away?
This is a hidden immunity idol. Ari has played a hidden immunity idol for himself.
And why not we go for one more? I would like to play a hidden immunity idol.
Mark, this is also a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Mark will not count. We will get to the vote. First vote, Mark. You're such a competitor. It's been a privilege to play against you. Wishing the vibes continue. All my best. Does not count.
Second vote, Mark. Sorry it had to be like this. You played a great game. Does not count.
Third vote, Mark. You've been a fighter. Great job in this game. Does not count. There's 3 votes that do not count for Mark. 2 votes left.
Next vote, Sarah. Just a precaution in case of an idol.
1 vote, Sarah. 1 vote left. Josie. No confession. So we are tied. We will move to a revote where you can only vote for Sarah or Josie. Sarah and Josie will not vote.
So Mark, Ari, and Amy will...
Feel free to discuss right now before the vote. Whatever y'all want to do.
Give you guys a few minutes to send in your votes.
Sarah, Ari,
Yeah,
you,
Ari.
please.
Sorry.
I think it's important to remember that none of us here will win against Josie. She made the biggest move that any of us have ever made, and I think that we just won't win against her.
And I would also love to add that I'm the only one here that has ticked off so many people, and I have not been running any alliances apparently. So you have been in control of this game for a very long time. So people see that and see your leadership in that. So I'm very flattered what you said about me, but I honestly don't think a lot of people will vote for me in the end.
I will chime in though, Josie. I think the reason why the people that are sitting here right now is because of the move that you made, and nobody can forget that. So regardless of what happens tonight, I give you props for that move and all the games that you guys have played.
Again, this will make the 8th member of our jury. We'll read the votes. First vote, Josie.
Second vote, Josie. I love you, girl. You had the best game-changing move this season. I truly love to play this game with you. All my best. I am so sorry.
The last vote was for Josie, and that means that Josie, you are the 8th member of the jury. Do you have any last words?
You guys are all awesome. I completely respect all you guys. No hard feelings. When I get on the jury, I can't wait to hear what you guys are all going to say. I'm not the jury, but when you give your speeches. But yeah, I can't wait. And yeah, it's been an honor playing with all you guys.
Thank you so much.
Loved working with you, Josie.
Same here, dude.
Great game.
Great game.
Thank you so much, Josie.
Good game. Good game.
Hi, Josie.
Congratulations! Oh my gosh! Final
Congratulations,
four!
four.
Yay!
4 shots and sleep.
And it made for stellar 5 tribal council. Thank y'all for that. You have one last thing to do in this game to guarantee a spot in the final 3. Do not expect this next challenge to be any easier than the last one.
It is not 24 hours, but it will be a big challenge. We will post the challenge later tonight.
I completely respect all of them. I honestly do not know who I'm going to vote for in the end. They all have a lot to explain to because I'm the only one that's actually said, okay, I made this move. And yeah, I really can't wait to see what happens.
We'll go ahead and start with Amy. Amy, what would you like?
I will start with who said it for 100.
I did my nails pretty so I can look nice when I reach into that rock bag.
All right, Amy, you have raised your hand first.
That was Nicole.
Correct.
All right, Amy, you get to choose the next question.
Do I get to see the board?
It should be going. It's kind of.
Sorry. I'll just do who said it for 200.
She had been pretty quiet, which I was not expecting, and I find it rather unnerving. The chaos may begin tonight.
Sarah has raised her hand.
I guess I'll read. Oh, no, I don't know. I'm scared. I'm gonna guess Nico.
That is incorrect. Does anyone want to steal this question?
Good.
3, 2, 1. All right, no one steals this question. The correct answer was Avery. So Amy, you get to select again.
Who said it for 300?
Nobody is a passenger here. Everybody deserves to be here.
Great. 5, 4, 3. Sarah?
All right, I might hate myself. Julia.
That is incorrect.
Okay. I can't do this.
I love the effort. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No one stands. Maggie. All right, go ahead, Amy.
I'll try it. Who said it for 400?
I could be that's supposed to say easy mode. They already wanted to get rid of me before. Might as well just get rid of me now.
Amy?
Was that B?
That is
That
correct.
is okay.
I'll do the tribe has spoken for 100.
This player was the 4th person voted out of the game.
Mark?
John?
That is correct.
Mark?
Survivor's ready for 200.
This tribe came in 2nd place for the Guess Who challenge.
Guess who was the...
Do we have to say the tribe name or can we say the people on the tribe?
Tribe name.
Tribe name. You act like we remember who was on that tribe.
Mark?
Saffron?
That is correct. All right, go ahead, Mark.
IRL for 100.
The category of instrument that Z plays.
All right, Mark raised his hand first.
That's percussion.
I didn't hear. What did this?
Totally thought I had my hand up first.
Me too.
Notifications.
The tribe has spoken for 300.
This player has been to more tribal councils than any other player this season.
Mark?
Maggie?
That is incorrect. And does anybody want to know?
We'll go to Amy next.
Oh no. Josie?
That is correct.
Damn, I was gonna say that. I'll do the tribe has spoken for 200.
This player was voted out on a 3-2 vote.
Mark?
It has to be someone currently on the jury.
No. No.
Liv?
That is correct.
Should know that. IRL for 200.
he lives in this state.
Mark,
Iowa.
that is correct.
IRL for 300.
Amy, what did you say, Amy?
I can't hear her
Yeah,
either.
I can't hear Amy. What did you say, Amy?
Can you text it?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Environmental engineering.
That is correct.
Correct.
Go ahead.
Can I do IRL for 400? Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This player refuses to use their inhaler to treat their asthma.
Sarah,
Josie.
that
Correct.
is correct.
I'm still negative.
Where would you like to go, Sarah?
We'll go to Survivors ready for 100.
How many immunity challenges occurred before the merge?
Sarah,
Oh, wait, shit. 12.
that is incorrect.
Damn.
All right, 5, 4.
Oh, sorry, I showed it.
It's okay. I don't think anybody was going to guess. There were 9.
Is there going to be a? Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there like a final Jeopardy?
No, there's not.
Oh, I was just wondering.
Yeah. So,
Thanks.
but still keep in mind that we're going to give points for first, second, third, and fourth place. So that's really important to remember.
Yeah.
All right. So Sarah, go ahead and choose the next one.
Survivors ready for 300.
This player told Nicole about a 14-day sequester in Fiji.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Zeke was the story.
That was from the Storyteller Challenge. All right, go ahead, Sarah.
Survivors ready 400.
This player guessed Anne for Josie's word during the secret word challenge.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, go ahead, Sarah.
All right, we're going to go just all in here. Maggie.
And that is incorrect. It was Nico.
Well, at least say I didn't try.
That was going to be my guess, Buzz.
Nico?
I was going to guess him.
All right, the last question.
This player has received more votes than any other player this season.
Ari?
I'm going to go with Mark.
That is incorrect.
All right, next person to raise their hand was Sarah.
Zeke.
That is also incorrect. Amy?
Oh.
Okay. I'm going to guess Nico.
That is also incorrect.
And that means Amy.
Wait, I still can get.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Oh, okay. This could make the difference.
Yeah.
B.
That is incorrect. It was Avery. Avery received 13 votes this season.
Legend.
Amy finishes in first place. Next is Mark.
Well, this is Tribal Council number 18. Crazy. Final four. We're going to go ahead and get started with some questions. Amy, is tonight's vote about remaining loyal to the two people here that you have been working with? Are you confident going into the hypothetical final tribal council sitting next to these people?
Well, I don't like that you said hypothetical right there. But yes, it's a mix of two things. It is remaining loyal to an alliance I've been with for a very long time now. And it's also, I had to think about what gave me the best chance at the end. And I think it's kind of apparent that there's one person who would absolutely destroy us all if they made it to the end.
Do you care to share who that one person?
I think Mark knows that he's an absolute legend in this game, and he outlasted a lot of people on his side, and he was a great competition for the challenges. I had a lot of fun competing against him.
All right, Mark. So on that note, if it is you, does the vote tonight have any effect on who gets your vote to win this thing?
To be honest, it doesn't. I actually have my mind made up already. I mean, I obviously want to hear what everyone has to say, but I think the person that I'm voting for, when I'm on the jury, already knows who I'm going to be giving my vote to because I told them a while ago, actually, and I meant it. So, yeah, I have made my mind up.
All right. Ari, how do you feel about your performance in the final immunity challenge? Do you feel like this will affect how the jury views you, and could this cost you any votes to win?
Yeah, I mean, I think my performance in the immunity challenges since Emerge have been pretty awful, to be honest. Definitely what I thought was going to be a strong suit didn't end up working that way, but that makes you have to have another ability to be able to adapt to a gameplay in a situation that doesn't evolve around immunity wins. So I think there's many different ways you can look at it.
All right, Amy, it's no secret that you are what we would like to call a comp beast. Do you think that this helps or hurts your game given that you're at Final Tribal?
I would hope that it helps my case in the end. I definitely won where I needed to win. There were a few of those that I heard my name tossed around, and I knew I needed to win. And then, this last one, I needed to win to even have a shot at the end. So hopefully it helps my case. But my game is more than just that, and I'm excited to tell people about it because I know I was a little under the radar.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you'd like to play it, well, I'm sorry, but that could only happen in the last round.
We're not going to break Survivor rules.
First vote, Mark. You are an absolute joy and played one hell of a game. It was so fun competing against you in this challenge, especially this last week. Thank you for giving your everything. Good vibes only.
Next vote, Mark. Man, it's been a long time coming, but I'm definitely happy to get you out of this game. You've been a stud from the first wall sit down to the sliding puzzle, and I'm very happy to get you out of this game leading into Final Tribal. Good luck, and I wish you the best.
2 votes, Mark. Sarah, you were a strategic warrior. Great game.
And the last vote is for Mark. You have been so great. You played a great game, and I hope that you play another and win it. Everyone loves an underdog.
With that, Mark, it's the final member of our jury. The 18th person voted out of this game. Mark, if you have any last words.
Thank you to the 3 of you. You made it. You made it all the way. I'm sad I'm going to miss out on the feast. So good luck to you all. And biggest props go to Cody and Sarah. Thanks for making this game the most close thing to being on Real Life Survivor as anything I could have ever imagined. So thank you guys deep down. It was absolutely incredible. If I ever get on the real show, I feel ready just from this alone. So thank you both, and thank you everybody. It was amazing.
Oh, I'm crying.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. Well, here we are, Final Tribal Council. It's been 39 days, and the time has finally come to crown a winner. Someone will be the sole survivor of the SubRosa series, and that will be announced tomorrow.
So here tonight we have our jury: Avery, B, Julia, Nicole, Nico, Maggie, Zeke, Josie, and Mark. All of which the 3 finalists had a hand in voting out. And one of the most beautiful things about this game to me is that now the power switches to the jury hands.
So first off, I just want to thank everyone for participating in this incredible game with me. It's my first time doing one of these, and I had a great time in my 39 days. I just wanted to quickly summarize some of my gameplay to the jury, who I didn't work with. My strategy entering this game was to play extremely under the radar. So naturally, I started the game holding an 18-minute wall sit where the camera's pointed right at my crotch. I was really pissed off with myself after the challenge, and immediately I knew that I would have to try really hard to make myself less of a threat throughout this game. I would summarize my gameplay as mostly old school style with a couple of new school twists throughout. And I managed to stay in the control position pretty much the entire game.
I have studied human behavior. I have worked with some of the hardest people, and I have worked in it pretty much my whole time that I've been able to work. I've worked in the field. I didn't want any of you to know that because a lot of the time I tell people I'm a therapist and they kind of say, oh, you're reading my mind, or, oh, you're analyzing me constantly. And as I think we've said, a big theme of this game is that perception is huge. And the perception of me was, I didn't want that perception on me at all. So I told nobody that.
that was just for me. The other thing I didn't want people to know was that I'm not a new org player. I actually played before. The day before this game started, I actually just ended my last game. I was voted out the night before. Luckily, didn't want to do 2 at one time. And I actually got 6th place in that. I was actually voted MVP of that game, as well as I was voted best game move in that game. Which now, since I've played 2 games, I would average that, even if I got 3rd tonight, that averages me at 4th place for Survivor games. So throughout this game, I created a lot of relationships with people. I actually said from day one, I'm going to make an alliance. And as Ari said, I made an alliance with him. I made one with Nicole. Then I made a couple of other alliances. I made one with me, Nicole, and John. I made one with me, Ari, Zeke, and Nicole as well. Through this, I maintained my loyalty with those people. I kept it going. A lot of that was a lot of my therapy skills. I made people feel wanted. I made people feel like their opinion mattered to me.
First, thank you to Sarah and Cody for running this game, and I want to thank each and every one of you for playing. It's been so much fun. I'm so proud to be sitting here at Final Tribal Council with the Beast Mode Alliance, and I am completely ready to own my game and fight for your votes. I'm going to explain my game, which will be a challenge because I played a behind-the-curtain game, hiding most of my strengths and moves from you all. My main strategy was to keep my cards close and to not reveal everything that I was doing. I know that now the burden of proof lies with me, so to dive right in, I believe I played the most well-rounded game of the 3 of us left sitting here today with my social, strategic, and physical gameplay. I completely outplayed, and outlasted them with a unique storyline in this game. To begin, I ask that you please consider the huge twist that I benefited from so much to being voted onto a new tribe to be just that, a twist in this game filled with so many twists and advantages that it was at times hard to keep track. I was never out of this game and had to immediately adapt and integrate into an entirely new tribe. Something I did again at Merge. I worked with most every single person in this game at some point. I was able to navigate and blend in where I needed to. I spun it to serve me, and I was able to hide my talents, lie in wait, and secure my position without ever revealing how strong of a player I would be. It's a bit poetic having been to that first tribal council and being here tonight.
All right, so we will move to the questions portion of Final Tribal Council, and we have an opening statement from Nico.
Hello, guys. It's Final Tribal, and the jury has a certain request for one of the 3 of you. So, Ari, if you would like votes for us tonight, you must do a wall sit for the entirety of Final Tribal Council. Obviously, I'm kidding. That is not part of the opening statement. Just wanted to get that out of the way. I know that you already mentioned the wall sit, but we all knew it was going to come up. Bookends. So to start off, my heartfelt congratulations to all 3 of you. You were able to make it to the end of the game that all of us started together. But the story isn't done yet. Tonight, all 3 of you get to write the final chapter of your Survivor story, but only one of you gets to complete the story of this season. A season is always paired with its winner, and it is our responsibility as the jury to listen to your stories and decide which one of you deserves to be our season's legacy. I will tell you that there are those of us on the jury who have strong opinions about each of your games. That you were already voted out. You barely went to any pre-merge tribals and got blindsided at the ones you did. You ran off the coattails of the one person on your side who actually made a big move. You've said nothing of your game at any tribal council so far. You lucked out by the real strategist of your side getting idled out of this game. You quit during the final immunity challenge. These thoughts have all been had by someone on the jury tonight, but we are curious for light to finally be shed on decisions we have difficulty understanding. There are votes to be earned tonight, but they are for the person who can convince us that your game had direction and purpose. that you seized opportunities and dictated what happened in the game around you. If you want our votes, you need to do more than own your game. You need to expose your game, sell your game, argue your game. Write this final chapter, not just for yourself, but for all of us. We want to vote for the winner of the season. Show us that you are that winner. Thank you. I will be asking my personal questions later on. Best of luck to all three of you. I will say I've seen the questions. You're going to need it.
So, Julia, you are up.
Can everyone hear me? I know I always have the technical difficulties. Beautiful. Amy, Sarah, congratulations on making Final 2. This is a really big... No, I'm kidding. All of you, like I said, Nico said before, congratulations. All of you deserve to be here or you wouldn't be sitting here today. And I give all of you props for that. And I'm really excited to hear what you all have to say. So, starting off, Ari. As a very mediocre man once said, all don't lie. And based on how little you seem to talk to everyone else this season and how much you really rode Sarah's coattails to the end, I don't think you had to do much lying to anyone else either. But I mean, that gives props to your social game. Yeah, you hear. Speaking of your social game, you've said, I think more than once, that this season you played like Jeremy Collins, who arguably is one of the best social players to ever play the game of Survivor. Yet, most people who have worked with you have stated numerous times how little of a social bond they actually had with you. How you would barely reach out, how they didn't even get the best vibes from you, and if you guys went to the tribal on your original tribe, you would have been the first boo. You say you play like Jeremy, when Jeremy's key strategy is to keep around meat shields, so he doesn't become the biggest target. And you even mentioned yourself that you arguably took out your biggest meat shield, Zeke, who was on your alliance earlier on in the merge than some other people. So my question for you is, how did you play like Jeremy Collins? Describe your game and how it relates to his.
Ari, you're muted.
All right, so a lot to address there, but let me start with, so I didn't think Zeke was my meat shield. I thought Mark was my meat shield. I actively tried to keep Mark in this game as long as possible. I told him this multiple times, and when people on our side were trying to get Mark out, I wanted to keep him there. I actively tried to fight to keep him there as long as possible. I believed, although Namastami came in hot with the final challenge win, I honestly thought physically it was going to be me and Mark, and no one else would really be able to challenge with that. So I was really, I really wanted to have him involved in my game in that sense. In terms of social alliances with other people, I was more, it's true. A lot more people reached out to me than others. I felt I was in a strong position in my alliance, though I didn't really necessarily feel the need to reach out as much earlier, and that's honestly a mistake in my part. As my first time playing this game, there were mistakes that I made, and I needed to kind of work to adapt and overcome them.
I think I'm going to go with Sarah. Throughout this game, we were never aligned. We kind of barely spoken. When we did, it was never about Survivor or gameplay. But as an outside observer, since we were never in an alliance together, I haven't seen any big moves from you or strategic plays that made you deserving of being in the final three. You know, you had the majority numbers work in your favor the entire time and had others make big moves for you that you benefited from. That's what I saw. Did you contribute to anything to those moves? I know you've discussed this a little bit, but I'd like to kind of hear more detail about it. Did you ever find an idol? Did you contribute coins to your alliance members? If some of those answers to those questions are yes, then you played the same game as me. And I don't believe that gameplay is deserving of the title of being sole survivor. because really then the only difference between us is that I was in the minority and you were in the majority. So please tell me about any big moves that you could actually take credit for that would make me want to vote for you as sole survivor. Okay. Well, I think we have to start by saying that Survivor is a numbers game. So whether or not we want to pretend that it's not, it 100% is a numbers game. So at some point, you have to make that happen. So honestly, like I've said, no, I didn't get any idols. I didn't win any challenges. I tried really hard in challenges, and I didn't do good enough. The fact is that I got people to vote who I wanted to be voted out. I dictate. Oh my god, this cat. Sorry, she's relentless. I got people to vote the way I wanted to. I got people to stay with me. I got people to continue going with me. I didn't just stand by idle and like watch other people just make moves. I was part of that. I did talk into, but if you think about it, since I got people to make the big moves, it's awkward.
Don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't either. It was very confusing. And yes, Maggie, you and I didn't talk very much. There was times I tried talking to you a little bit more, but you weren't really giving me a lot either. And there was like a lot of space between talking. So it was really hard to have that conversation. To be honest, after that whole call happened where you kind of put a lot of us down and you said some things, I was honestly annoyed. I didn't really want to at that point. And yeah, but the thing is, I think the difference between both of our games is that I'm here. I got here and I had a target on my back the entire merge, and I'm still managed to get here.
Okay, thank you. Amy, my question for you is, I think you're the only person in the final three that I think can fully answer this question. Please give examples of all the times you, or just one time each, that you outwitted, outlasted, and outplayed in this game, please. Okay. Yes, like one specific example for each of those words. Yeah, sure. I will start with outwit. I was playing in the middle for the majority of the game, pre-merge, when we did a swap tribe, where it was you, Maggie, and Trey, and then myself and Dinara, and Justin and Nicole. Dinara and myself made 2 alliances simultaneously, just to ensure that the 2 other tribes wouldn't talk to each other, and that was very, very successful and moved us forward into the next swap, where I could ensure that Trey and Justin were not talking to each other. I'm not taking full credit for that, because Dinara really was my it was both of us, and that I also did that post-merge when I was working with both Josie and Zeke, as well as Sarah and Ari. And before that, even, I was in an alliance with Nicole and Sarah as well. And for that, I had some run-ins in the idol hunt and needed some coins. And Josie gave me 10 coins. And then I also got 3 coins from Sarah and 3 coins from Nicole. I just had coins coming my way, and I was just asking for them. And I was able to control that information. And at one point, Josie handed me 35 coins to, go buy whatever we wanted at the store. So for Outlast, besides sitting here, that is a complicated one in my game, because I was voted onto another tribe, but I never missed a day in this game, and it was like nonstop in that, like, I was voted out and immediately had to just talk for hours and hours with my new tribe to just get my foot in the door. And within that first vote there, I spent I think it was an hour and a half on a call with people I'd never met, just to make sure that it wasn't me. And then I just did what I needed to do to outlast everyone. And then outplayed, I will just reiterate my challenge wins, and that I did those to keep those wins out of other people's hands, and I was just having a lot of fun doing so. It really genuinely was a lot of fun to battle Mark in those final challenges, and I think my record can speak for itself there. Thank you.
You know, all three of you have talked about how you played different roles in keeping your alliance together, and that's very clear because the entire way you guys stuck together, and that's why you're sitting where you are, and I give you credit for that because that's the game that I played along with a lot of my fellow alliance members. We wanted to stay tight and get to the end like you did, and you beat us to it, and all the props go to you for that. So I give you guys credit for that. So I just want to put that aside for a second and talk about challenges for a second. You know, when we think about Survivor challenges, the hosts said it themselves, they think about a slide puzzle. I happen to think that the final immunity slide puzzle challenge results are a fantastic representation of each of your games. Like I just said, you all talk about how you work together and helped keep your alliance together in some way, shape, or form. You all benefited from having the numbers. All three of you did. So I want to talk about challenges for a second, and this particular one. Amy, you completed the slide puzzle in 29 seconds. I don't know if everyone understands this, but times below 30 seconds in a 4x4 slide puzzle don't just occur by happenstance. I know this because I spent hours on that puzzle to get to 20 seconds myself, studying the strategies, attempting to master all the different algorithms. I know you must have done this too. It had to have taken time. You don't stumble upon that time by dumb luck. In this game, you were certainly under the radar at times, but in the end, like your slide puzzle results showed, you were deadly. Sarah, you completed the slide puzzle in 9 minutes and 19 seconds. This displays to me a clear lack of effort. Now, it certainly could have been strategic, like Ari had pointed out, as you may have not wanted to risk Amy getting any worse than second in order to send me home if I happened to win that leg of the final immunity challenge. But I still believe this slide puzzle time aligns perfectly with your game post-merge. Your alliance stuck together at all times. No one has any big moves that they can speak of. Everyone was complacent. 9 minutes and 19 seconds in a slide puzzle, that's the definition of complacent. Ari, you didn't even complete the slide puzzle. Does anything more need to be said? There are 9 people sitting here right now, not including me, that would have killed to be in your position and even had a shot to do a slide puzzle in this game. You've called yourself a lion to me, but a lion's fierce, and I think they would have showed some fight. Not competing in the puzzle shows me no fight. So I ask each of you the same question. Is this an accurate representation or not? And tell me why I should not base my vote off of the immunity challenge results down the stretch, which Amy won 3 of the final 6. Why should I not base my vote on that? Amy, you could start.
Well, I think you should partially base your vote on that. But if you're not completely basing your vote on that, I think you should also look at games in the well-rounded aspect of games. And each of us did bring, I do want to speak up, like, I love this final 3 that I'm sitting here with. And but anyway, I think I completed challenges, but I also had a social aspect. So, and a strategic aspect. So maybe, like, if you don't want to just give it to me on challenge wins, I consider the whole game. And also, I definitely did not spend hours and hours on that. I have practiced slide puzzles in my past and just kind of knew the strategy. But thank you. Hours in my past.
That's fair. Thank you. Sarah, why don't we go with the order?
So, no, I did not try. I am really bad. I tried really hard. I kept trying. I was sitting at my computer screen. I studied the stuff. I watched the YouTube videos. I spent a lot of the day doing that, but I just couldn't honestly get the hang of it. Also, I didn't know what a good time was, and I think that's a lot of my problem. And this was the same thing with my last game. I had a hard time knowing like what a good time for something is, and like, okay, is this time going to matter? So I thought, honestly, I thought that 9 minutes was good when I did, and then when I saw you guys, I'm like, oh my god, I suck. So I did really try. I didn't just give up. And then at one point, I think it was like 11:30, like before it was due, I did realize, I'm like, shit, if I win this and like for some reason Amy doesn't do well, like that means Mark's in the end. And I did think about that, but I did keep trying. I just didn't get any better.
Okay, yeah. So, like I said before, it's not that I didn't try at all. I literally tried to do it. I went. I kept going. I had YouTube up, cruising. I was trying to do it. I got to a point though where after I completed the egg challenge, and I still hadn't done that, I knew mathematically that I could not win this, and I needed a chance to win in this final tribal. And Mark, with you there, I wouldn't have had a chance to win it. In each Survivor game is different. I thought my strengths were going to be that of a lion in challenges. I really thought I did. And it was embarrassing at times, humiliating at others when I can't hold a pencil against the wall. Or just certain memory challenges where I'm just unable to accomplish them. As someone who is insanely competitive in something that I do in my everyday life, just really, really humiliating, to be honest. But it's part of my game that I had to adapt to. I realized quickly after the first challenge that I wasn't going to get another physical. I thought I was hoping for, but I realized as we were going through, I wouldn't get another physical challenge like that. So I had to adapt my game to one not of more strength as much as I wanted to.
I want to follow up though. I feel like when I asked you what happened with the slide puzzle results, I would have respected you more if you would have told me in that moment, man, I bailed on it because I knew that if you would have won, that you could have had a chance. But you made up this whole story about how you messed up, the timing of when the deadline was, and that you didn't. So I would have respected you more if you owned the move instead of giving me a little bit of a story.
Sure, and that's fair. I mean, at the point you were still in the game, so I still didn't know what was going to happen. So I didn't really want to feed you a lot of real information there.
And I'd like to follow up. And Julia, if you'd like to answer this, why were we targeting Ari on those first few votes?
I was going to ask this.
I will say, Ari, it is... Oh, Sarah, do you want to say? Do you know?
Well, I know that I thought, wasn't I trying to say Ari to you two?
So that was, for the first merge boot, we decided to vote for Ari because we thought he had the weakest social bonds and was the least likely to have someone play an idol for him. And I will say that the reason your side knew to play an idol for Ari was Josie.
For sure, yeah. 100% Josie was crucial in that.
And that, Amy, you didn't have that information as you claimed to be the middle ground to know where we were voting. Sarah, the social bonds also didn't come through there for obvious reasons. But again, it comes back to Josie, who had the move to stand out, to separate herself from the loyalty aspect of this. And we're looking for more and more of what separates you from the other two.
But Josie had also just spent the last tribe swap with Sarah, Ari, me, and Nicole, where we solidified that relationship. In my best move, the move that I think it deserves the most credit, I put Josie revealing that information and kind of dictating the merge boot. But I also think those people deserve some credit for that too, where we did build a relationship and make sure that there's credit both ways. And I think that Ari and Sarah will know that.
Yes, and in terms of social bond, yeah, but we can move on, Cody.
Yeah,
thank you.
Let's move on. We will give you time to address anything that's not asked later. We just need to move on for the next question, and it goes to Nico. So,
well, I'm gonna be honest. I had some questions typed out, but A couple of things have been said that I need to personally follow up on, starting with Ari. Can you please clarify for me what you meant when you were talking about touchy subjects?
Yeah, so it was something that I had talked with Sarah and Nicole about, that I wanted my name to come up a lot and me to appear that I was on the outs with the group, because I felt super strong within this group. So I wanted to appear that I was on the outs so that you guys would approach me. There was talk beforehand, and I was like kind of talking with Mark and you, and just like, yeah, like let's kind of see how this goes, and then we're gonna see if like I'm more on the outs than I thought. I pretended to play on the outs. I felt really comfortable in the position that I was in.
I get that. Thank you for the clarification. I have a follow-up for that.
Yeah.
Why should I give you credit for a move that went against the expressed, very distinct instructions from the host that this was meant to be honest, this was meant to expose how people felt, and that makes me feel like you're discrediting the game that our hosts are putting together for us, and I don't personally find that vibes well with what I'm looking for in the game.
Okay. I think I missaid what I did. Okay, let me word this out. So, because I talked about this in group chats with the hosts. So they were all aware of these conversations. I believe that it was more of when people were asked those questions, people would say my name, and I wouldn't feel bad about it in some way or sense. Does that make sense? So like so we had our votes written down, and then
Zeke, do you have a clarification?
Yeah, he said what I can clarify is that I remember in the group chat that he said if his name came up, that his feelings wouldn't be hurt and he wouldn't feel on the outs if his name was coming up. He never told anyone to put his name up, and I know I don't actually think I put his name for any of the ones that he stood out on. But he said to us that if his name came up, it wouldn't hurt his feelings and it wouldn't affect his position in the game.
Right, but that makes it so much easier. You know? Do you see where I'm coming from? Like, even if you didn't expressly say it, that makes it so much easier for a game that's about exposing who's really on the bottom. If you hear someone say, well, it's cool if it's me.
Okay,
like,
but I
think he said it after we all voted.
They said
Okay.
that.
If it's after you all voted, then that was the clarification I was looking for.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't word that very well. I think that's an error on my part.
Okay. Yeah, and I was trying to give you a clarification because I thought it might be that, but based on your answer, I didn't get that, so I apologize for me misrepresenting that.
No. Appreciate that.
Follow up for you, Ari. What was the most difficult decision you made in this game?
Most difficult, 100%, was Final Six when I had the choice between going Zeke or going Sarah. So this was I feel I had 100% control of the game, and this was my decision that I had to make. I had an idol. It didn't matter if Josie left. If Josie stayed, I could have played an idol on Sarah. I could have played it on Zeke, and I was ready to do that. However, Josie left. Zeke wasn't there. So I knew Zeke wasn't going to play an idol. I could have gone Sarah or Zeke, and I chose to go with Sarah and Amy towards the end because I felt I had a closer one-on-one with Sarah and Amy than I did with Zeke and Josie. And that was my mindset behind that.
Thank you. And I appreciate you answering my questions. All the respect to you, making it this far. Well done. Sarah, I'm going to go to you next. What do you think was the most pivotal vote in the course of your game?
Ooh, the most pivotal vote in my game.
We'll switch it. Let's say the game.
In the game. Okay. It's the most pivotal. Well, I think one of the biggest vote outs, I mean, it didn't benefit me at all, was the Nicole vote. I think that was definitely but the one that I was a part of, I would say honestly, was your vote, Nico. was probably the vote that kind of solidified things for me. Getting to the end, before that, I know that there was something, I think Mark was the one who kind of asked about what our plans were about votes and like who, when, at what times. It was interesting because like early on in the merge, I kind of had in my head, I'm like, okay, I think this person will go there, this person will go there, this person will go there. I kind of had a plan of like who I wanted to get out to the end. The person I talked the most with this stuff about was really Nicole. So when she got voted out, I had to refigure out like who I was going to go with now. And I'm like, well, Ari's going to stay with me. He's been loyal to me this whole time. And then I felt really good about Amy. So I decided to be with those two. But to answer your question, your vote out was probably the biggest for my game.
Okay, can you walk me through, if that was the biggest vote for your game, walk me through Sarah's mindset, a couple of key conversations that you had that made that vote happen.
Well, I think like Zeke said before, it was a lot of the alliance. A lot of us kind of like talked all together. I didn't like tell people like, oh, we need to get Nico now. I kind of wanted it to be more of an open discussion because I didn't want people to think I was dictating the vote. So I think some of the conversations that I had was, you know, talking to people in my alliance and telling them that you were a huge threat. If you got to the end, you were going to win, that you were going to keep finding things, that you were going to keep getting what you needed to get to the end, and that you needed to go.
Great answer. Thank you.
Okay, Sarah. Okay. So I respected your social game very much in this game. I can say for a fact that you outdid both of the people sitting next to you and all of us on the jury with your social butterfly abilities. However, as everyone kept saying you were running the game, I got confused because I thought a person running the game was in charge of moves or made decisions, like the main decision. Almost every vote post-merge, me and Amy were spies on the other side and getting information to you, Zeke, Ari, and Nicole. Then the decision was made due to the information that me and Amy told you guys. I understand that a little bit later, you and Nicole did end up going and getting some information as well. What's it called? Even after the information was received, it seemed like Zeke was calling the shots for every vote up until his blind side. You and Nicole gave an input from, I saw in the group chat. Zeke made the full-on decision on almost every vote, past the Avery blindside up until he was blindsided because it seemed like he was making the final decision on all the group chats. I would congratulate you on that move. However, I see that Amy did more on the vote out more than you and Ari for Zeke's blindside due to that she was, at that time, how I saw it, she was the swing vote on that decision because I honestly could not see Ari flipping on you at all because I knew he's been with you since day one through this entire game on every single tribe swap. So basically my question is, have you been running this game like everyone believes through the merge? Yes or no? I don't really want an explanation, just like a yes or no for this.
Yeah, and there was something I wanted to say. Can I say it and then answer yes or no? No, it's not that question. It's answering something you said before. Is it okay if I just say something from before?
Yeah, sure.
Oh man, now I forgot what I was going to even say. So wait, can you repeat your question? I'm sorry, my brain.
Okay, you're good. You're good. So basically, my question is: have you been running this game like everyone believes through the merge? Yes or no?
I'm still gonna stay by yes.
Okay. And my question for follow-up for that is, which I'm 100% okay if you elaborate on, go all for it. What was one move that you were in control of post-merge before the Zeke blindside that proved you were running the game during the merge?
Okay, that's what I was going to say before. The thing I was going to say before is the Zeke blindside. There was a lot of things I don't think both of you knew. Ari and I, in that point, were actually talking, and we actually made two separate group chats, with one with Amy, one with Zeke. We were talking about final threes with both of them, and Ari and I actually talked together and decided who we thought would have a better chance for us in the end. So I don't think it was really a lot of it was us, because without Ari and I, like, he wouldn't have gone if that didn't happen. But with moves like dictating, so like I've said, I never wanted to come off as a dictating type person. I didn't want to do that at all in this game. I really wanted to be more like undercover kind of giving and planting the seeds of who I thought. Yes, there was a lot of time that Zeke was, and I was really hoping that was going to work against him. I didn't want to be the person that was directing the vote in those moments. I wanted to be the person underneath, talking to people and trying to get them to see who should go home and who shouldn't.
And by being under the radar in that, you still believe you were running the game.
I think there was okay, so it's kind of like a yes and no, kind of. I can't really answer a full yes. I can't answer a full no. So yes, I think underneath there was a part of me that was running the game, because I feel I was one of the big reasons that the Alliance stayed together. On the other hand, there was other people that were dictating some of those votes. I still was a part of them, and I was still planting those seeds for those to happen. I might have not been the voice, but I was definitely making them happen in underground.
It's okay. I completely respect why you got me out. And I do have a question for that day. Zeke was like blindsided. Okay, so there was a lot of frantic scrambling going on from your side, and I couldn't tell if it was genuine, or were you just trying to make me nervous to vote out Zeke, or did you want to know if I was playing my advantage or not, or like multiple of those, or like what was your thought process through that?
It was a frantic day, I can tell you that, because up until that day I was still deciding if I wanted to sit at the end with Zeke or with Sarah. And ultimately, once I heard that you had heard your name, I was pretty confident that you were going to play your advantage, and I knew that you wanted me to play mine first. And then I didn't know where Mark was going to vote, so I decided to play a game of chicken with you, and I needed to convince you to play your advantage first, and then I was just not going to play mine. And I'm so sorry for that, but had to happen.
It's all good. Yep, that's all of my questions.
Can I follow up there? I mean, I will admit, in the moment of the Zeke vote, the only person that I was believing was Amy in that moment, and I genuinely thought that Amy made me believe that I should have voted with her and Josie to force some sort of tie in that moment. I'm still needing a little bit of clarification on the Zeke blindside. You guys keep calling it a blindside, but I feel like it was known all along that was going to happen. I even knew that Zeke was going home, and you keep saying he was blindsided. He wasn't even at Tribal, so why was it a blindside?
I don't consider that a blindside. Personally, I considered that like me choosing, do I want to stick with Josie and Zeke, or do I want to stick with Sarah and Ari?
Can I address that? I don't think it was Amy choosing that. It was me choosing that on that vote. It 100% was. So Zeke came to me, and it was he had the opinion that Josie was leaving and Amy was leaving. So it would be me, Mark, Zeke, and Sarah in the final. And he said, we have to vote Sarah on this. And like he's like, we try to talk to Mark about it, but we need to vote for Sarah on this. I was like, okay, okay, let's figure out more information, because I knew about Josie's, but I didn't know about Amy's advantage. We found out Josie's was real. Amy played us and thought it was fake. However, if all three of them stay and they all vote either, so Sarah or Zeke were the ones going that round. If I wanted Zeke to stay, I would have played the idol on him, and Sarah would have gone home. If I wanted Zeke to go home, I would have just let it go as it is, and that was the choice I made, and I kept my idol for another round. So I fully believe I dictated that round of voting.
Thank you for the clarification.
I can also say, just from my perspective, I was going to kind of cover some of this in my questions, but from my perspective, Ari had me totally got and totally blindsided. I completely underestimated him. I never had any clue he could have flipped on me. Like I just thought I would tell him to do this and we would kind of just do it and it would go fine. And then he made me feel good about it the whole way through. And Amy that day, like our conversations were like absolutely terrible. Like I was starting to completely question her. I felt like she was going off the rails. She was asking, I told her I wanted to Josie out the final four, which I really did. And she started telling me that she thought it was a test of her loyalty and that, and I was like, okay. And Josie started freaking out about Amy too. So honestly, like, I felt like it was a blind side from Ari, but I kind of thought Amy was going to vote for me. So in the terms of blinds, it really was a blind side. I did not think I was going home at all.
My first question is for Sarah. So when I left the game, our plan was to go to Final 3 with Ari. And I'm just wondering if this was your actual plan. Did you have other real plans going on? Did you ever think about blindsiding me at any point?
Okay, so yes, I did want to go to the end with you, but I also would say in my confessionals, I'm like, Nicole's a really good player. Do I want to take her out? Do I want to stay with her? I was like, I have to wait really long. But like part of me really wanted to go to the end with you because even though like you probably would have beat me, I really just wanted that. So I definitely thought about it, but I definitely wanted to go to the end with you as well. So it was kind of a toss up.
All right.
But
Ari, in the touchy subjects challenge, I'm sure this has probably already been brought up, but you were voted as the GOAT. That didn't realize it. And Sarah was voted as who is the one actually running this game. So my question for you is, when you had the opportunity to take out the person that was being perceived as running the game at the final 5, you could have taken either Josie or Sarah out. You chose to move forward with Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
What made you think that was your best path?
At the final 5 or the final 6? Because I could have, I had the option to take Sarah out at the final 6, but I like Sarah said about going with you to the end. I felt the same way about Sarah that she did to you. It was like I honestly think like because me and Sarah worked throughout this game together, so I mean there was an attachment there. I really emotionally had a hard time not getting rid of her. I tried to have as much gameplay as I can to just offset that, but that's honestly how I felt. In terms of it, for me, it was a Zeke or Sarah toss-up and who I had a better shot to win at the end. I thought Zeke had played already a super strong strategic game, and I thought I didn't think I had a chance against that because he was already playing a better strategic game than I was. I think I've played a better strategic game than Sarah personally. I think she's played a better social game than me. So I thought if a jury's gonna vote for me, then they'll vote for me based on some of the strategic decisions I made, not on social bonds that Sarah's made for her. So that was my thinking behind that.
Okay, so that's final 6. What about at final 5 with Josie? Did you ever consider going to the end with Josie and Amy?
I thought about it a little bit, but Mark quickly was adamant. I was trying to get him to get votes on Sarah so I could idle Sarah at final 6. That was like a potential option as well. But Mark is like, no, Josie, we have to get rid of Josie. The jury's really gonna respect her game. And I honestly didn't really share that perspective with him so much, but the more he talked about it, the more I realized that he probably knew what he was talking about because he was with the whole jury. So he said specifically like what Nico said at the tribal, that like we're gonna really focus on big moves that are being made throughout when Nico went home, and Josie made the biggest move of the game essentially at that point by flipping. So I think that would have been, I turned that into being a death sentence for me as well. So Sarah and Amy became the choice for me.
Okay.
Well, just wanted to go right off the bat. I'm the merge goop. Some of you I only talked to for like, I don't know, a day or so. I did genuinely enjoy meeting all of you guys though. No like internalized hatred towards which one of you. But I also want to preface this saying I'm not a great public speaker. So if you see me looking down at my laptop, that's what it is. I'm not just going off. But yeah, I'm going to start. Sorry if I'm mean. Like, I don't mean to be, but like at the same time, I kind of do. Somewhat. Okay. So as we all know, a common theme throughout the season was roses. We saw them on the logo, in our idol hunts, and even with our hidden advantages, like the forbidden rose. Thus, I've taken it upon myself to compare the three of you to your rose counterparts. So I'm going to start off with Sarah. Sarah, I think you are the stem of the rose because you remained unwavering with your allegiances to the people who grew with you from the very beginning. Your stagnancy and reluctance to ever flip solidified the bonds you created early on. Now, some may call your numerical predictability safe, but one cannot deny the fact that you were a main stock in your alliance, providing steady support always. So, or at least from an outsider's perspective, I thought that you were a huge person who was, I guess, tying everybody together, keeping everybody intact, whatever, as you were saying. And that same strength or fear of losing comfortability allowed you to uphold the numbers throughout the entirety of the game. And it would be foolish of anyone to relate your successes strictly to sheer luck. Because you guys did have challenge luck. Arinaria, you guys hardly went to any tribal councils. But I will not solely relate, I guess, your game with that luck. Because I do see the power in your social game. Yeah, but although you and I both know that the probability of people making the finals substantially differs in accordance to how many tribals a person has attended. For instance, for myself, I went out immediately because I had literally gone to almost every single one. So it's yeah, it obviously changes whatever. So I still need to take that into account. And I also forgot to say, wow, that my decision has not yet been made. I've been listening to every single thing that all of you have been saying and genuinely processing everything as well. But all in all, you're sitting here and we are not, so who's to say what would have happened if you went to more tribal councils? I honestly think you probably would have been well off considering you were a huge, you were the glue kind of holding people together from my outsider's perspective and just what I've heard from other people like Nicole. So I applaud you for your game, but keep in mind our perception is everything and not everybody values stagnancy. Okay, and now Ari. I'm sorry in advance. Ari, I visualized you as the petals of said rose. You're beautiful, intricate, conspicuous, delicate, and the list goes on. I'm just kidding. But you, my friend, are actually the bud of the rose. You had not yet bloomed or gotten around to actually playing the game, in my eyes. I don't know. Zeke says differently. Zeke was with you for longer, but to be quite frank, I didn't even know if you knew that you were playing a game, and I was truthfully waiting for you to do something. But that's just my opinion. Sorry. And even if it was a poor move that you made or were to make, I still would have loved to see it, or at least laughed at it. And nonetheless, I'm heavily disappointed that I did not get to see any big, huge move because I wish there was more mix or spin, whatever. And lastly, Amy, I consider you the thorn. You are a thorn, dangerous, threatening, and an occasional prick, just occasionally. But among other adjectives. But I'm here today not to prove why you are a great player, because I feel like every single person here has kind of, I guess, advocated for you thus far. And I just wanted to come in and disprove one of your untruthful claims, similar to Nicole, because Nicole, she talked heavily about how rites of passage, and just one thing which you said in that really kind of grinded my gears, maybe a little So I'm going to bring it here today to talk with you guys one-on-one. So the Justin vote out. We're going way back because I don't have much experience here. I'm not very well acquainted with the moves, so I'm going all the way back. Justin vote out. On that day, you continually stated in the OG Gazania group chat that you were indifferent, which is also a common theme. I noticed it's stagnancy, indifference, whatever. Those are common words. Don't really know. But you were indifferent to whether Justin or myself went home. But in our private messages, and even in the rites of passage, you stated that you were advocating for me. You wanted me to be there 100% whatever. But from myself, I saw in my little secret alliance with B, Julia, Nico, whatever, Oh yeah, big thumbs up for that one. That you were nothing but indifferent. If not, you were kind of projecting your opinions to get me out at that point in time. So I truthfully don't really respect the fact that it was kind of like jury management to say that you were still advocating for me when I had all the proof, I had everything lined up, when I knew that you were not advocating for me in the moment. So yeah, we saw right through your lies throughout that. And in my secret alliance with them, we knew that the only way to ensure my survival, because you were not being very assistful, as you said you were, was to create a voting deterrent. And thus, it was created. We found and created a fake idol. It was masterful. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. I loved it. But, and I used your unfaithful predictability to my advantage and deliberately sent the idol discovery message to you because I knew that you would be the person, the sole person to forward it to everybody and get it exposed everywhere. So by you playing in the middle, I need to know your exact, this isn't a question, it's a rhetorical question, but I need to know, I guess, in my mind, whether or not, even because I do agree you were in the middle, but I don't know if 100% of the time you were as successfully playing in the middle as you said you were. So yeah, with that idol, we knew that you were going to forward it to everybody because you were the middle figure and you would just send it off. And yeah, I was absolutely correct. And the quote under the message even said something along the lines of dang it, sure you found it. So that doesn't really look like advocacy to me. But at the same time, I don't know for everybody else, but whatever. I just don't like to play up with being like, oh, I was still advocating you at the end. Love you, girly. And I'm like, well, I saw your messages, boo. So I don't know. But now that I've cleared that up, as I just like when moves are sometimes discredited, I still want to say that you played one hell of a game, and I am proud of you. I'm proud of you too, Ari, even though it did not sound like it. I do appreciate you talking more. I just had this pre-planned, and I can't just be like, oh, yes, you are the pedals, buddy. But yeah, that is all. It's no questions. This is solely me talking because, I don't know, I felt like it. So yeah, good job, guys.
Okay, I guess for my first question, I want to talk to Amy. I mean, obviously, I feel like you kind of maybe have lost my vote at the final six when you played the way you did, but I want to give you a chance to kind of explain that because I didn't understand why you were coming to me and saying you thought I was gonna vote you and that you thought I was trying to test your loyalty with lies, and tests. I just want to know why you were saying those things to me because I know I made you feel uneasy and I know I played that wrong as well. To make you distrust me, but I just want to know why you were telling me those things. Why were you saying that? Because to me, it looked like you were just freaking out. I was like, even if she's freaking out and she's gonna vote for me, why is she telling me this? This is. But I just thought I thought I was so secure with Ari that it didn't matter.
Yes, I would love to answer that, Zeke. That's because I was talking to Josie, and I was when you called me, and knew about my advantage. I was upset with, not upset, but I was just like,
Oh my, yeah, sorry.
Josie told Zeke, but of course,
messaging in a circle then.
Yeah, we were all messaging in a circle.
Yeah.
And then after we left call, I was talking to Josie, and I just straight up told her, I was like, hey, I'm just wondering, I just want you to know, Zeke wants you out at 4 and he's been throwing your name. And then she had come to me and said, that's just what he does. He just throws the people that he's closest to. So she had told me that, it was a quote unquote kind of test. So I was trying to see if you were with Josie more or with the other side more. So that was my perspective.
Yeah, and I just think if I just don't know why you believe that. I thought I don't know. It's just crazy. Josie made that up. I'm pretty sure. We were talking about it today, and Josie was like, "Yeah, I told her that." By the way, because she was reading me writing my questions, and she tried to explain that to me that she's the one who told you that. But I still feel like I just can't figure out why you would come to me with that because it just made me feel more uneasy that tribal. You were the only one really making me feel uneasy at that point. I thought Ari had convinced me he wouldn't spill anything to Sarah and that Sarah would just want to be voting for either you or Josie. Josie once, and you did trick me into thinking you had a fake advantage, but I really just don't understand why you were saying the things you were saying to me.
Yeah, I genuinely just saw it was an info leak and I didn't know. You were telling me that you wanted to sit at the end with me, but I couldn't tell if that was true because you were also very close with Ari. And so I was just trying to see if I could trust you, and I didn't know if I could.
Yeah. Okay.
And at the end of the day, I was just decided, like, genuinely, I was still deciding if I wanted to sit next to you or Sarah that day. And I just had a feeling that I couldn't trust you in the end. I decided that.
All right, I think my next question is going to go to Sarah. I mean, you and Ari, I feel like I think you read together the entire game, and you're getting a lot of credit for a lot of things that I feel like you guys both deserve credit for. And I think that's because you had such a better social game than him. And I think you just had so much better social game than him, and that leads to you now having a perception of all these things, right? But I just want to know what is some, and I'm aware that of all the things you did socially better and different than Ari, but what is something you did strategically better than him? Like, because I just don't know how to separate you guys in that category. And for me, literally the only thing I have to go off is that I thought you were a threat, and I didn't think Ari was a threat, and he totally got me, and kind of that in my mind that puts him in the best position. I just want to know what you did differently strategically than Ari.
I think a lot of the things, like, obviously, yes, I mean, my social game was better than Ari's in that. A lot of it was more, I feel like, in the beginning of the game. Ari and I would talk about a lot of things, and I was more, I think Ari kind of grew in the game. I think at the beginning, Ari didn't know exactly, like, what he was doing, and that wasn't on him. New players. And I think that I kind of helped him kind of develop his game so that he could become more strategic too. And we talked a lot about that. And I think later in the game, he was able to. So I think more in the beginning of the game, I probably was the one that talked a little bit more strategy. And I think later on, Ari and I just kind of developed that where both of us were doing that.
All right. I feel like Ari's been getting so much shit and saying so much stuff this entire time, except for, the little salad tossing Zeke's been doing this entire time. So I hope you've been having fun with that.
Oh, it's been great.
But I think I'm just gonna, go back into where I think the most of the jury is sitting right now. You said, Ari, at one point that the one word you would use to describe your game was fortitude. Can you define the word fortitude for me right now?
So strength. That's how I would describe it as.
No. Give me the definition of the word fortitude.
I mean, I like the Webster's dictionary definition. Like, I would describe it as like intense strength.
Okay, well, surprisingly, that's not what the definition of fortitude is. The definition of fortitude is courage in pain or adversity. So I just want to know, like, one time in this game where you actually faced pain or adversity that was not when you were on the wall for 20 minutes at the wall sit. Truly, because you said you felt comfortable this entire game. That's why you didn't feel like you needed to play a social game, because you were in the numbers and you felt like you were secure. So where's the adversity at? Where's the pain come in? That's what I want to hear from you.
Okay, well, I can address that, but I guess my interpretation of fortitude is a little different. But I can address the, I mean, like I said earlier, I really didn't feel like I was in a rough position at the game, and I had to keep checking myself on that, because whenever someone feels comfortable, that's when they're going home. So I had to constantly check myself on that behavior, because I know, like, I knew that wasn't really realistic, but I felt I dictated most of the votes, so I didn't really feel like I was in a ton of agony or I had to really fight and climb a mountain in this game. I really didn't. I felt strong and solid with the bonds and alliances that I made, and I just my agony is that I didn't make more bonds and alliances throughout the jury.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, and I have just another fun question for you. Can you tell me what your pronouns are just one more time?
My pronouns are?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, your pronoun? Do you know what a pronoun is, Ari?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Wait. Okay, then can you just tell me what your pronouns are?
I'm confused.
It's just a fun question. I just want to know what your pronouns are, because I don't remember.
Like a word I would use to describe myself?
No. No, it's okay. I was gonna move on to Amy. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Okay. So, Amy, I know you're getting so much shit right now because you got voted out of this game and you got placed into another tribe. And I know a lot of the things you're answering right now are like, you know, trying to fight for like your, you know, like even though you're voted out, whatever. And you said you were on the bottom when you came over to the OG Gaznia, which I wouldn't disagree with, except for the fact that I was more on the bottom than you were, considering they threw my name out before they threw your name out. And so I just wanted to know, I mean, like, I'm not saying you were on the bottom, but like they were gunning for me over you. And I had to fight to stay after that vote. So like, I just want to hear from you. And I know you said earlier that this was not the game you planned on playing, but I just want to know, like, what are some things that like you haven't said that maybe changed the way you thought you would play this game, or like pivotal moments. I hope this makes sense. I'm really tired. Or like pivotal moments where like you really realized like when you came into this game, you had an idea of like, this is how I want it to go. And then everything kind of crashed around you and you had to switch and be someone you maybe aren't, or do something that you maybe thought you wouldn't have to. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you. Yeah, I want to start with saying, like, right when I swapped onto Gazania, I didn't know, like, what the dynamics were there. I knew I loved talking about coffee and cats with you. And yeah, it took me a little bit to see where those dynamics were. And I saw that you had gotten votes, but I didn't know where you stood in that. And then I heard Jamie's name come up. So I was like, okay, stick with that. But then I also knew I was going to be like sixth man if we did stay strong. Yeah, I would say like coming into the game, I wanted to go all out in challenges. But when I tried that on Saffron, I was the only person awake for the scavenger hunt when it started, and that didn't end well for me. So I took a big step back there, well into this game. And then also I did want to come into this game talking about more votes earlier on and being a key decision maker earlier on, but I felt genuinely that when I had to start over, I knew other people had those close bonds and I didn't know where those alliances were. I assumed that there were alliances. I didn't know where they all fell, and I just needed to find a footing there and just get some sort of way in, just to hang on until I could figure out what I needed to do. And then, yeah, I guess other things you mentioned, like what else haven't I said? Let's see. Oh, when I guess at Merge, when I was actually really upset at Merge because I thought like little me thought like maybe we would stay strong, OG Gods, and then it just kind of felt like I had been kind of tossed to a side and I wasn't given an option but to go to these people who I'd never met before. And so that was a move that like I had never planned on making, but it was a move where like I had to adapt to the situation because I knew you guys had joined up with OG Saffron. And I just every time I was faced with an obstacle, I just had to figure out a way to adapt and change my game. And I couldn't even say like halfway through the game to now, like this isn't how I figured the last part of the game was gonna go. Yeah, and I guess I know Avery didn't give me a chance to say it, but I did want to say that I was trying to be subtle in getting the vote off her for the Justin one when I mentioned like there could be an advantage if she plays the idol correctly, and then I was trying to get votes off of OG Gods just in case at Merge, because I really did like you guys and I hoped that maybe we could rekindle. And I know I was approached with B's name for the Merge vote, and I just suggested like maybe we don't do B, and then just like there was a lot of luck there because Zeke had played his spill the tea there as well, and we got to change that vote.
So now we have one item left, and that is to vote for the winner of Survivor SubRosa Season 1 in Mallorca. If anybody has nothing else to say. No bias. All right. So we'll read the votes. This is the moment. First vote. Is everybody ready? All right. First vote. Sarah. I knew going into Final Tribal whose name I was going to be writing down, and that's not changing now. You played one hell of a game, and you deserve this win. Hope everyone else agrees.
Next vote is for Amy. This was a laughably easy decision. You are the only person sitting in the final 3 that even remotely deserves this title.
Ari, I can't believe I'm actually writing your name down. I just don't believe Sarah deserves it, and you strategically outwitted Amy. Congratulations, I hope you win. That's one vote for each finalist.
The next vote is for Sarah. Sick Debbie impression.
Next vote, Amy. This was actually the toughest vote of the season. Not like all the other tough votes where we literally knew who was getting a vote. I'm still not sure this is the right vote, but I feel like you played a decent underdog game, and I have to respect that for what it is.
Great. The next vote is Ari. I respected how you owned and explained your game in a way that others couldn't. So right now, Justin, we have 2 votes for Amy, 2 votes for Sarah, 2 votes for Ari.
Next vote. Amy, you worked your way from the bottom to absolutely dominating this game down the stretch, and that cannot be taken away from you. Incredible game.
Great. The next vote is for Sarah. I told everyone in the game that if you didn't make a move, if they didn't make a move on you, they would lose to you in the end. Unfortunately for them, I think I was right. Cheers to a game well played, an alliance that never happened, and an old school game in a new school season. Gotta shoot to score.
That's 3 votes Amy, 3 votes Sarah, 2 votes Ari, 1 vote left. If this vote is for Amy or Sarah, they will win. If this vote is for Ari, we will go to a tiebreaker. And Sarah and I will announce this together as best as we can. So we'll count down from 3, and so 3, 2, 1, then announce, and then we'll read the confession. So, all right. In 3, 2, 1, Sarah. Which means congratulations, Sarah. You are the winner of
Sarah, how do you feel?
I actually was worried all last night that it wasn't me, and I've been preparing this whole day that it wasn't me. So I'm happy.
The last confessional says, you're such a strong player. I'm impressed with how you utilized your social and strategic prowess to get to the final 3. Strategically, you saw your path to the end, and your social game gave you the leverage to steer the tribe in the direction that most benefited you. I'm excited to be casting my vote for you.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Congratulations, Sarah. Awesome game.